Level 90 by Agents Unknown. Delion is trembling with barely contained enthusiasm. Eager to resume our investigations? I know I am. Do you recall that scrap of alien starship we recovered? Well, Inspector Brandehild has employed his unsettling calculative capacity to extrapolate the damage to greater whole. He has concluded that the vessel would be incapable of flight without extensive repairs. The most likely scenario, then, is that some unknown agent made off with the starship wreckage, along with Poo-Poo's acquaintance. Fortunately, I have a fair idea who that unknown agent might be. After all, there is a singularly shadowy cabal with a history of concealing extraterrestrial activity. Actually, let's head over to Kama first. The inspector and the others are staying in a dwelling there, and I'd rather not explain myself twice. His horrible misfortune, calamitous even. Poor Master Poo-Poo has fallen gravely ill. He's so bluish green, more so, I mean. Did he have caught a cold? I suppose it was quite chilly up there in Gollermold. Poo-Poo is an alien. Who knows what extraterrestrial diseases might be ravaging his body? Nashu's delights are the best medicine for whatever ails you, as the inspector himself can attest. Good gods, Nashu, you blow our host domicile to pieces. Put them away. If I may, when I was cloned from the inspector, certain gaps in my knowledge were patched with supplementary data from the starship's archives. This information included an encyclopedic understanding of Master Poo-Poo's physiology, which should be sufficient for me to diagnose his condition. The Xenoman hybrid mind. That explains the impossible calculations. I have it. Master Poo-Poo is afflicted by a terrible case of the common cold. Gods grant me strength. As a visitor to Aetheris, Master Poo-Poo has no prior exposure to our maladies. He is thus particularly susceptible to infection and more likely to experience severe symptoms. Aha, 'tis just as I surmised. We must put aside the case until we have nursed our stricken companion back to health. But even if it is a common cold, isn't there a risk that our medicines do him more harm than good? They almost certainly would, based on the results of my analysis. However, I believe I can synthesize an effective remedy. We need but gather the ingredients. And ingredients you shall have. So, what are we gathering exactly? Most of what we require can be drawn from Master Poo-Poo's collected samples. Otherwise, there are only two which we lack. First of these is the liver of a giant tortoise. A suitable organ can be extracted from one of the cachapa, which wander salt winds welcome. Ah, the slaughtering of a monstrous opponent. That sounds like a job for Zilly. The other material in question is a rare fungus known as damp shroom, which I am hoping can be found among the Great Work's extensive stock of alchemical reagents. Very well, Nashu, Delion, and I will scour the alchemist's shelves. Meanwhile, I would ask that you remain here and keep an eye on our ailing patient. Inspector Brandehild, you're such an expert on all things Stavnair. Oh, I wouldn't say expert, simple conclusions from simple observations, nothing more. As I said, I am hoping the alchemists have the damp shroom we need, but it really is quite rare. Once you have the tortoise liver, would you be so kind as to assist the others in procuring the fungus? Let us not prolong Master Poo-Poo's suffering a moment longer. Seems we have a job to do. Further discussion of the abduction will have to wait. Whoops. Kill some turtles. Is it just anyone? Okay. Ah, I had every confidence you would bring us a suitable liver. Alas, the dank shroom yet eludes us. Alchemist said the fungus has few applications, so they don't bother to stock it most of the time. Then I must put my keen inspector sense to work. Stand back whilst I attune myself with the essence of the dank. Damn. Damp. The word is damp, shroom, and you'll forgive me if I have no faith in your abilities. It's close, my friends, and getting closer and closer even as we speak. I hear you folk are in the market for damp shrooms. I might have some to sell if you're interested. But how? We certainly are, my fine fellow. Right then, if you'll give me a moment to retrieve the goods, we can finalize our transaction up on the perfumed rise. Was it genuine clairvoyance or sheer coincidence? I'm not sure anymore. Though in all fairness, when it comes to Inspector Hildibrand, preternatural perception is one of his least baffling talents. In any case, we should hurry to the rise and take this man up on his timely offer. Oh, you're here. Good, good. And here's the damp shroom as promised. Oh, glad we are for your assistance. Ta, not so fast. There is still the matter of payment. Of course. And how much do we owe you, my good man? Considering the extreme rarity of the fungus in question, I couldn't let it go for less than 1 million gil. Million gil for one measly mushroom? That's outright robbery. Bargain, I counter. You would pay tenfold my price in the markets. I thought you'd to do you a kindness in light of your urgent need, but I am more than willing to find another buyer if you wish to spit upon my generosity. Nashu, how fair are we for coin? We're plumb out, Inspector. Ah, then this is a prickly pickle. Where are we to obtain sufficient funds at such short notice? A million gil, was it? I have an orchestrion roll collecting problem. Gotta buy them all. Spent the last of my savings on Return to Oblivion. Sleeping. Our savior in every sense of the word. Give that man nothing. We have you now, deceitful scum. Your swindling days are over. Radzat Han, City Guard, at your service. We'd received reports of this man's questionable activities and have been keeping a close eye on him ever since. Hamstream is a rare find in the bazaar, to be sure, but only because there's no real demand for it. The price this charlatan quoted you was, quite frankly, ludicrous. But thanks to your ignorance and poor judge of character, we were able to catch him in the act. As a token of our gratitude, you are welcome to keep the fungus, assuming you still want it. Yes, very much so. That is very magnanimous of you. You think I enjoy tricking fools out of their coin? If that bastard hadn't declared my job redundant, I wouldn't have needed to stoop so low. He blames a rising star among the merchant princes for his woes. Van Hoody, I believe his name was, purchased the trading consortium where the man was working, which led to a restructuring of the hierarchy. A lot of people out of work. Van Hoody. I know that name. Something about an acquisitions deal gone sour. Father was willing to sell him a slice of his Hannish enterprise, I think, but balked when the man offered to buy our family business in its entirety. Truly, there's no telling how deep the coffers of this Vanudi are, nor do any know the secret of how he amassed such kingly wealth so damnably fast. There are whispers, though, that he's solved alchemy's oldest and most legendary problems, the transmutation of base metal into gold. Unlikely to say the least, but whatever the source of Vanudi's riches, he shows no reluctance in spending them. He's bought a historic temple to serve as his home and commissioned a private airship, among other extravagant expenditures. Nice for some, eh? Poor, that swindling case had barely started before you solved it, Inspector. Ah, ha, 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 ha. All in a day's work, my dear Nashu. I believe our business upon this scented hill is concluded. Let us hurry the ingredients back to Inspector Brandehild, shall we? I may have mollified his lordship with the secrets of divine manifestation, but the stench of failure yet clings to me. I must redeem myself in his eyes by crushing my most hated foe. Wee hee hee. Oh, went the wrong way. The fool I am. Inspector Hildibrand tells me you have the liver to go along with his damp shroom. Fine specimen, thank you. I will be mixing the ingredients in the starship, so let us convey Master Poo Poo outside that we may administer his medicine as soon as it is ready. This should be sufficiently remote. I'll have the craft come to us and we can commence the treatment. Oh, I feel so much better. I cannot thank you all enough. Master Poo Poo recovered his strength in mere moments. It would seem his powers of recuperation are just as advanced as his technology. I came here from another world, a stranger you've no cause to trust, and yet you've treated me so kindly. The people of the star are so very welcoming. Ah, you are a dear friend now, Master Poo Poo. 'Tis our pleasure to help. It will be my pleasure to harm. I'll not fall for the same trick twice. Goblin. Impudent worms, taste my full power. Like a basket. The gold saucer. Oh. Dunk. Not again. You took the full force of that destructive beam, yet there you stand, somewhat singed but apparently unharmed. I've pondered and puzzled over this inexplicable fortitude of yours and feel compelled to ask. Are you an alien? Ha ha ha, fine jest, but I assure you I am without a doubt an old Don, born Mandeville of terrestrial urine stock. He's Hildibrand, agent of inquiry and inspector extraordinaire. What more do you need to know? Where to even begin, but never mind, we have more pressing matters. Such as locating Master Poo-Poo's missing comrade. 'Tis time we reopen the case of the silent correspondent. Yes, exactly. I have a firm theory as to who it was that took the wreckage and its erstwhile pilot. The Charlians. I'm all but certain they've allied with insidious extraterrestrials, which means they'll be under orders to remove any evidence of alien activity. I wager we'll find what we're looking for in Old Charlie, and we need only infiltrate their operations and expose this nefarious conspiracy. The Charlians can't be bothered to formally ally with foreign nations, much less aliens, and the Loprits don't count. Trust me, they'd sooner flee the star than attempt to subjugate it. While Master Delion's theory does lack supporting facts, we have no other promising leads to pursue at present. Moreover, I understand that Charlian sets the standard for monitoring astronomical and astrological phenomena. Mayhap their experts have been tracking extraterrestrial movements. I'm spoken out of turn. Please forgive my presumptuousness. Hey, my friend, I too sense our path points to the Isle of the Archons. Pack your bags, everyone. We leave for Charlian immediately. Level 90 by Agents Unknown. Complete. Nice teamwork. Level 90, not from around here. Hildibrand is keen to embark on the next leg of your investigation. Oh, we get something for this one. Charlian awaits. We need only charter a suitable sea vessel. Of course, but does not the city lie many days' sail to the north? Is there no swifter means of reaching our destination? So this experimental aetherite will allow us to teleport thither even absent attunement? Splendid, then we shall avail ourselves of the technological marvel forthwith. Like right up there. So this is the city of learning. A sophisticated gentleman should feel right at home here. How are you all not sick to your stomachs? Experimental etherites make travel exponentially more fun. Sometimes I feel as though I'm the only normal person in this group of eccentrics. But, this is not the time to succumb to nausea, not here in the belly of the beast. Rumor has it the Charlian secret agents travel the star in search of specimens, which they collect and bring home in a service to a confidential research project. Said project is conducted in a huge underground military facility. If we're to find answers, then that's where we need to look. Secret agents? You mean gleaners? Labyrinthos, not a military facility. I say this Labyrinthos sounds promising. I say we head down there and make inquiries as to the whereabouts of our missing alien friend. We simply take a lift from the Hall of Artifice, yes? And let us be on our way. Thought we'd teleport, but it looks like right up here. Teleport up to there at least. Rostra. These must be the lifts in question. Do you wish to descend into Labyrinthos, madame? My apologies, but each of your companions must also secure the proper permissions before we can allow them entrance. If it is assurances you need, then surely a single glance is all you require to judge us trustworthy. I could certainly make some judgments, but that is neither here nor there. Admission to Labyrinthos is subject to foreign policy. You're the ones who should be judged. I know you're hiding aliens and xenotechnology in that underground base of yours. Admit it. Xenotechnology? I sincerely have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, yet again do our paths cross in most serendipitous fashion. Father, what business brings you to Charlian? I am in search of a certain object, one crucial to the continued refinement of the Manderville weaponry. My investigations lead me to believe it is to be found here in Labyrinthos. And also, as you also seem to have business down below. This is my son and his bosom companions. If I vouch for their character, will you kindly allow them to board the lift? Ah, Master Godbert Manderville, the form sent word of your impending arrival. As a member of the Syndicate, your ambassadorial status affords you an entourage of up to 5 members. Pray consider their permissions arranged. I know not your current mission, but for the time being, I suggest you accompany me to the Archeon. Stalker left behind. Oh, you just teleport. From what Father tells me, this storage facility is replete with samples and specimens collected from every land in Aetheris. If anyone has information concerning visiting aliens and crashed starships, it will be these studious folk. Shiny silver saucer. I'm sorry, but we have no record of any such object in our archives, either whole or in part. Or so you would have us believe, but the purpose of this complex at this military fortress is plain. You cannot deny that you're conducting secret research on alien starships. We are not conducting secret research on alien starships. Yes, we did build a starfaring vessel in Tamazine, but it was neither for military purposes nor of extraterrestrial origin. Disguising your foul lies with a sprinkling of the truth, are we? Fine, I'll dig up the facts myself, and then everyone here will hear what you're really up to. Well, I cannot assist you with your missing craft. I do recall seeing an individual of like appearance to your companion here. You do? And where was this, pray tell? At Marial Agronomics in the medial circuit. The lift at the back of the building will take you down there. Many thanks, my good man. Oh well, it seems you found yourselves a solid lead. I have my own search to attend to, so I shall bid you good hunting and good day. Another round of in-depth inquiries by the agent of inquiry and friends is in order. To Marial Agronomics we go. There's no ether right there. So just fly. Ah, you must be talking about one of those new Mandragora strains. We whipped up a batch of bright blue stray onions, but I'm afraid they started to rot almost immediately. Not a mandra, you say? Well, the only other bluish things I can think of around here are the grapes. Look how luscious this crop turned out. Your description would lead me to believe you're looking for one of the mandragoras hereabouts. But if, as you say, it's something else you're after, then I'm not sure if I can be of much help. I've only just started working here, so you may have more luck asking the older hands. Yes, the little blue man. Saw him with my own 2 eyes. I did, and it was no mandragora. Cleaner in the company of an outside visitor passed through a little while back. Nothing too unusual there, only this, friend you described was scuttling along with them. I know not what purpose brought them to the farm, but whatever it was, they didn't tarry here long. Wonderful. That corroborates the information I but moments ago skillfully squirreled out of this farmer. He claims to be an acquaintance of the gleaner in question, in fact, and we'll bring him to talk to us shortly. Let's round up the others. We should all be present to hear what revelations this professional collector has to share. You're the folk asking about the little blue man, yes? Oh, and you brought someone who's practically identical. You must be the same species, surely. My friend was really here, then? Certainly were. If you've a moment or 3, I'll tell you the whole tale. Begin at the beginning. I was in Thavner on a procurement mission when I crossed paths with an apothecary and his unusual companion. As I mentioned, the companion was almost your twin in appearance, and the wagon they rode upon bore a damaged vessel the likes of which I'd never seen before. Could it be? As a collector by trade, I have a certain weakness for oddities, thus did I hail the apothecary to inquire after his company and his cargo. The man was only too happy to share his story. He had, it seemed, quite recklessly plunged into the war-torn lands of Garlemald to sell his wares, reasoning that where there was conflict, there would be a need for medicinal goods. The state of affairs was rather more volatile than he'd anticipated, however, and he was soon forced to abandon his venture, and so the apothecary began his long trek home, only to shortly thereafter discover a strange silvery ship and its shaken pilot crash-landed in a snowfield. It cannot be a coincidence. The story continues. After extricating the battered vessel and its occupant from the snow, he brought them home to Razatan. His guest wished to make repairs to the craft, yet even amongst the wonders of the bazaar, they struggled to find suitable parts. Hearing this, I suggested they bring the wreckage itself to Labyrinthos, and after they agreed to the idea, I escorted them here myself. Alas, even the Thomazine engineers who worked on the Ark were stymied by the exotic ship, finding its technology impossible to comprehend, let alone replicate. Little Blue Fellow eventually resorted to drafting schematics, while the engineers followed these step by step to craft the essential bits and bobs. The apothecary and his companion were waiting here at Marriott. And then what happened? Well, once our industrious visitor had what they needed, they repaired the vessel in a twinkling. The pair then departed almost immediately, and I've seen neither hide nor hair of them since. Told the apothecary paid a handsome sum for the engineer's services, but being a typical Charlians, I wager they would have happily forfeited the coin for a chance to pore over every square elm of that ship. Now, I'm no scientist, but I'm beginning to think such an incredible vessel must have been some kind of starfaring craft, and that little blue man, well, he must have been an alien from another world. Or so I'd like to believe. I'm an avid reader of the Thavnarian truth, you see, and love to entertain these idle flights of fancy. But I've rambled on too long. There are errands to attend to, and I really must take my leave. Good fortune to you. Can it be true I have readership in Charlian? Perhaps I've misjudged these people. Presume your comrade is hale and healthy, Master Poo-Poo, and in the company of a Hannish alchemist of undisclosed description. Yes, this is wonderful news. I am grateful indeed that we made the journey. I have a feeling this case will soon draw to a close. Come, let us return to Razatan and continue the search. To summarize our findings, we now know Master Poo-Poo's friend is safe and in the company of a Hannish gentleman, and possibly here on this very isle. Oh, that does sound promising. Father, you've returned to the city. I trust this means your own investigation was successful. That it was, although laying hands on the object of my desire has been a long and frustrating ordeal, to say the least. Much painstaking research revealed to me the existence of a hereditary Manderville relic within which slumbers the secrets of weapon augmentation, yet though I turned our ancestral home upside down, I failed to unearth the artifact in question. The reason for its absence became clear when I chanced upon the journal of one of our forefathers. He wrote of a visiting scholar's keen interest in the relic and how he thus surrendered it into Charlian safekeeping for study. The trail led me to Labyrinthos. As it turns out, the Charlians never did find time to conduct their analysis. The custodian and I found the curio tucked away in a dusty corner of the Archeon, still awaiting processing. And here it is, an oddity every bit as perplexing as Godbrand's cipher-bound manual. How are we to deliberate its hidden wisdom? And like a button on the front. I can help you with that. These devices were made by the Mandervillians, a starfaring race with whom we once traded. Starfaring? Mandervillians? Yes, a highly evolved species with a mastery of advanced technologies. Our people shared ideas and inventions, so I'm quite familiar with your family's relic. If you so wish, I can have the device project whatever images were stored upon it. A darkened room would afford us the clearest view, however. Let us retire to our rooms in comma and dim the lanterns. We must behold these secrets in optimal conditions. Mandervillians, a coincidental naming, or is there some deeper connection? Movie time. Everyone comfortable? Let's see what the device has for us. I am Godbrand, wanderer of stars and weaponsmith extraordinaire. First Lord of House Mandeville. This is the Godbrand, our founding father. Record this message that my descendants may know the truth of their cosmic origins. The tale is long, but I bid you watch until the very end. Heirs of mine, I am not a man born of this star, or even a man at all. I am of the Mandevillians, a race which hails from the far side of the great expanse. Mandevillians are parasitic symbionts. We can only survive by bonding with other life forms. Once our essence has taken root, we supplant the host's mind and strengthen his physical structures, imbuing our new form with a steel-like resilience. I knew there was something alien about that impossible imperviousness. Then, through the conjoining of compatible host bodies, we produce offspring which harbor the next generation of Mandervillians. The symbiotic variant eventually takes to the stars in search of potential new vessels, adapting and multiplying, so it was that our race proliferated and spread throughout the cosmos. Still, tragically, our flourishing civilization was brought to an abrupt end. Every planet upon which we Mandervillians resided was visited by an inexplicable calamity. Our societies were brought to ruin by life forms suddenly twisted into horrific nightmares, like the final days. That sounds rather familiar, so even stars far removed in time and space were ravaged by the final days. Desperate to avoid the same fate, a comrade and I boarded a ship and fled upwards into the starry night. We flew and flew until we found a planet, your planet, untouched by the phenomenon, but the rigors of the journey had so damaged our craft that we were forced to make an uncontrolled descent. I alone crawled from the wreckage, badly injured and near death, but even as I resigned myself to perishing on this unfamiliar world, I found by a man who had come looking for a falling star. As a rule, Mandervillians do not take intelligent life forms for hosts. After hearing my story, however, this sympathetic gentleman offered to become my vessel of his own accord. He was himself afflicted by an incurable malady, and with little time left to live, seemed content to know that his ailing body could provide safe haven for another. his blessing, I set about transferring my essence. The man's form was revitalized and purged of its fatal frailty, yet the mind which dwelled within was now my own. I went on to build a new home for myself here, making use of my people's technology to ply the blacksmith's trade. I wed a local lass, and together we had a child. Although not pure Mandevillian, our offspring exhibits the same enhanced physiology. A boon I suspect shall be passed down for generations through the bloodline of House Manderville. My dear descendants, the folk of this star are most fragile, yet as the first man I encountered did demonstrate, they are nevertheless capable of surpassing love and generosity. Cannot talk. As the last of the Mandervillians, I have but one request to make of you. Pray employ your superlative attributes in my armory of Manderville armaments for the benefit of these wonderful peoples whom I hold in the highest regard. What an astounding development. I, Hildibrand, Healador, Maximilian Mandeville, shall heed the passionate plea of my illustrious forebear. No case is too big nor too small should it be in service to my fellow man. He learns he's descended from an extraterrestrial being and it's still business as usual. But wait a minute, then why is Lady Julian so monstrously strong? Is she a descendant of aliens too? Well, this is most unexpected. Never did it cross my mind that our esteemed ancestor might hail from beyond the heavens. But I do wonder if that self-same blood still runs thick in our veins. The family tree I glanced over some years ago suggests that, but it is unimportant. Our present purpose remains unchanged. I will bring our Manderville weaponry to the peak of perfection, for Godbrand and for the good of our star. Now, before I forget, I have a gift for you. Pray await me at the Aetheryte Plaza, and I shall bring it to you forthwith. Some truths can shatter the foundations of our beliefs when brought to light, but I have to say this wasn't one of them. More staggering discovery was that I have devoted readers in Charlian. Those who peruse my publication are allies against the ever-expanding webs of lies and deception without exception. I've misjudged the Charlian people. They are not collaborators or the architects of conspiracy. They are but seekers of knowledge, unafraid to plumb the depths of the unknown. That Master Poo-Poo, though, that one still has an ulterior motives. I bet my life on it. Stand ready, for we shall have need of your strength when he shows his true colors. I hope you've not been waiting long. This is the gift I mentioned. Master Poo-Poo's earnest quest inspired me to indulge in a spot of clockwork craftsmanship between weaponsmithing sessions. I thought it only fitting that you be the one to care for this diminutive simulacrum, consider it a memento of your adventures together. Minion, okay. And as for our Manderville weaponry project, I believe my ancestor's artifact has unlocked the door to the next stage of improvements. Should you find time to offer your assistance, announce yourself to Master Geralt, and I shall endeavor to join you with utmost celerity. Till then, my dear. Level 90, not from around here, complete. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Thavnair, Lord Venudia had come with ill tidings. Professor Lugi set an ambush for his nemesis, but was once more defeated. His current whereabouts are unclear. That blithering dolt. Making copies. No matter, preparations are well underway. The manifestation will proceed as planned. Dun, dun, dun. Forgot the words last time. I'll read them this time. Extraterrestrial calamity. I'm not singing it. Cosmically altered physiology. Gentleman's man, the first of their clan, and ancestor of quality are Godbrand Manderville. Truth can be stranger than the tallest tale. See you, Inspector.